Welcome to 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, where we take random movies from Metacritic's 15K Plus movies to randomly watch whether we like it or not. Hello and welcome to episode 40 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews. This is Colin.
And this is Niall.
And this is our random recap of movies 32 to 39. We started off way back in episode 32 with The Big Lebowski, which was nice.
Yeah, terrible movie. Let's not talk about it.
No, it was a hard slog. From 1998, Metascore of 71, Meta user score of 8.5. Colin gave it an average when it was all said and done. My highest so far, 4.5625, was my average rating of this movie, and Niall's, yours was 4.4 on the dot. So I think they stand up okay. Those scores.
Yeah, I think those scores are about right. It's maybe not the best movie on the planet, but it's not a million miles away. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there. I think from watching it again, I think you start to notice a lot of subtle things in The Big Lebowski after seeing it a couple of times, and take a break from it, and then you start to maybe to appreciate more and more of the little.
Yeah. And that's the wonderful things with the Coen Brother movies. Like, there's a lot going on, and if you look at the background of any scene, there's stuff happening that you might not recognize at the start or the first time watching. It's such a layered thing.
Yeah, and with like movies like that, with such a deep sort of detailed script and storyline, all this lore pops up on the internet, and all this sort of, the Lebowski, the dude's philosophy, and people have written books about the philosophy and the zen of the Lebowski, of the dude.
My favorite piece, it's not really lore of the dude, but the fact that Jeff Bridges did not have a wardrobe given to him for this. He just turned up in his own clothes, which is amazing. Yeah.
And he used clothes from a previous movie he was on, and I think we mentioned that in the episode. But it's you start reading into it, and movies like this have so much things that the internet has a lot of information about, and different research, and even the T-shirt of the baseball player he plays is a real baseballer from Osaka, and it's a great T-shirt. I actually really want that T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
What else about The Big Lebowski? I think when you come across movies like that, you kind of remember, because we've gone through so many bad movies, you just realize then what the recipe for a good movie is,
Oh, well, listen, characters in it are fantastically developed. Every scene is interesting. Every scene has got a reason for being there. The subtle comedy is just amazing. And listen, the choice of actors: Steve Buscemi, amazing. Goodman, amazing. Jeff Bridges, amazing.
Yeah, you've got other Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, like that's a one thing I'd completely forgot about the movie, that he was in it, and he's great in it. The very amazing, Smithers type of character.
Yeah. I keep on thinking of Simpsons quotes when
yeah,
Smithers, you're really turning me on.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I don't really know what else to say about The Big Lebowski. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was a pleasure to watch it again. And we sort of remember the good days with the bad days, and when we have a couple of bad movies, which is maybe
pretty good enough,
4 movies after this, and you sort of you appreciate the good days when you watch a good movie. Big Lebowski, recommended. Watch it
if you haven't, you have to watch it. And listen, the Coen Brothers stuff isn't for everybody, but still, you have to appreciate the art.
Absolutely. Episode 33 was Crooked House. I kind of forgot that we reviewed this movie. It's
Oh yes, this is the one with
yeah.
the horrible ending.
Yes, the daughter did it.
Oh yeah, and it was pretty obvious that the daughter did it the whole way through. It's still a compelling movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not the best movie.
Well, you gave it. Your average score was 2.1875 out of 5 for the movie, and mine was 1.75 because
Okay,
I
maybe I'm
thought it's.
remembering it a little bit better than.
Well, yours is still like it's up there, but it's below average basically. So it's not like as if you
Yeah,
said it was average.
Glenn Close is my favorite person in the whole movie.
Glenn Close does a very good impersonation of Emma Thompson. As
Mm.
I said this in the episode where she's Mrs. Trunchbull from Madeline, is it?
Matilda.
Matilda. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, she's very good actually. Yeah, she puts in a bit of a performance there. Yeah, based on the what's her name, Agatha Christie's novel, and you know her
Of the same name.
of the same name. Her modus operandi is the killer is always somebody that you haven't thought of. So it's like, and if you are thinking of somebody, then she'll throw in a couple of things that'll lead you down a garden path or whatever. So at the start of the movie, it's like this: the daughter. It's like the killer is usually the person you least expect.
Okay, it's you, isn't it?
All right, come on, mate, Missy, you're under arrest.
You're nicked.
Yeah. One thing I remember is the very, very poor performance from Jeremy Irons Jr. Don't even remember his first name. He just wasn't.
He was the problem. That's right.
Yeah.
Everything about the movie was tarnished by his wooden performance.
Yeah, he was terrible. He was just, in a bad scripted movie, you need your front character to go, all right,
Yeah, it has
try
to
and
do
drag
heavy
this.
lifting.
Yeah, big,
But
heavy lifting.
he couldn't lift his own lunch. when your dad is Jeremy Irons and you suck at acting, it's just disappointing.
Jeremy Irons is the villain in Die Hard with a Vengeance, right?
Which I watched 2 days ago.
Oh, really? I need to watch it
And
again, actually.
he was amazing in it, obviously.
When I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives.
Simon says,
yeah,
you're going to blow up.
Yeah, I remember watching that Die Hard with a Vengeance, and it's a street scene at the start, and then there's a bomb, it just explodes. It was a great start to the movie.
Yeah. I will say this, having watched both Die Hard 1 and because my wife was then at me, we have to watch 3 now, come on, because we weren't going to watch 2. So we watched it. It's still a good movie, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one.
Right.
It is a damn good movie, but it's got some weak points in it. The story's not as good. There's some silly things that happen, which doesn't really happen in the first one.
Yeah, I don't know I don't remember the sort of specifics of it, but yeah, I must actually watch that tomorrow. I want to watch that for sure. Anyway, we're not talking about Die Hard yet. We're talking about Crooked House.
I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah, but Crooked House was boring, and no wonder it didn't stand out as an Agatha Christie sort of classic movie. It's because it just doesn't. Gillian Anderson is very disappointing in it.
Very disappointing. There's a whole lot of disappointment in that movie. I don't think that the book is necessarily a bad one. I think it's just the screenplay was garbage, and no people who were acting didn't seem invested in the movie, which is kind of annoying.
No, yeah, I think they turned up and just read lines and didn't really put themselves didn't put a unique selling point into each of their characters. It was sort of boring and annoying to watch.
So I think a lot of that has to be slapped on the face of the director, in my opinion.
Yeah, who I don't remember who did it, but if I'm looking at my notes here, it was the Gilles Paquet Brenner, who did a lot of French movies, basically. So
yeah,
that's him. That's him in a nutshell. So that was Crooked House. It's sort of 32 to 39. It only really got good near the end for us for this decade of movies. So our next one was Past Lives, which was actually before Crooked House. It had a Metascore of 59 and a meta user of 5.8. So it's average anyway. But I only mentioned that because the next one has a really, really high Metascore and user score. So Past Lives only came out this year, and it's got Oscar nominations. It's got Golden Globe nominations. It's got a Metascore of 94. It's got a user score of 8.3. Niall, you gave it an average of 2.4375.
Super disappointing, really.
I gave it 1.625. I thought it was worse than Crooked House.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
That is impressive, yeah.
I was really looking forward to this movie because, you know, it's an A24 movie. It's been rated so highly. To me, it felt very art house, nonsensy. It was a talkie.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more from the movie that is very understated. It's very low key. It's a lot of talky, but the talky isn't good enough, in my opinion. It just doesn't work for me. And that the result of that is near the end of the movie, you just don't feel emotionally involved when they say goodbye. Because
I was actually happy that they said goodbye because the two of them together just got on my nerves. It was just awkward and
and the husband annoyed me as well. They all kind of annoyed me in a way, because, you know, at this, and we picked up on this, and I still think about it to this day. This entire movie is based on past lives. The name of the fucking movie is Past Lives, but she goes at the start, she's looking up old friends. She goes, "What was the name of that guy that I was really loved in school?" The entire fucking movie is about how amazing and how,
if you loved them, you would have remembered his bloody name.
Soulmates they were. So like the entire movie, then
Joey, Tom, I don't know.
Joey, Joe, Donald, yeah. So like it's the entire premise felt fragile and flat. Then it's like you couldn't even remember his name. So now we have to believe for the rest of the movie that he was your soulmate and you could have been together if you hadn't have left and moved to America, where you found this dope ass idiot as
you know what I would have loved at the end is that he got on the plane, he flew away, and then the husband turned around and went, "By the way, you dumped."
That would have been funny.
Then I would have liked it. Then I would have got 5.
You know what? The annoying thing was he came out then when she walked away from the taxi when he left. He hugged her, but she didn't put her arms around him. She just stood there with her hands by her sides.
Oh, not like, you. I wanted the other guy.
Yeah. Well, if you're not going to put your arms around me, fuck off. Away you go. Here's a taxi.
Taxi. Go follow that other taxi. I'm sick of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
the way he flings his phone on the table when he comes into the apartment for the first time. The husband's like on his phone at the kitchen table, and this fucking idiot that's flown all the way from Korea to see his long lost love. He's like, he doesn't want anything to do with it, so he flings the phone on the table. He's such a petulant kid, and then he doesn't do anything about it for the entire movie. When they're chatting away in the pub for 20 minutes, he's just sitting there like a loser.
So awkward and horrible, and God.
But I would have
what just is wrong? Everybody in that scene annoys me. Everybody.
Even the barman annoys me. He's not even in it.
I do remember the first few seconds where it's a couple looking across and then discussing their relationship was excellent.
It was excellent. I thought that was a really good start. I was going,
every
what's going
scene
on?
After that was shite. It was garbage.
What's wrong with us, though?
I don't know. I don't think it's us. Maybe we're not smart enough to get it, but I don't want to get it.
I'm going to, while we're just waiting here, I'm just going to read out some low user reviews first, just to see if somebody actually agrees with us. So, like on Metacritic, normal human beings can go in to Metacritic and obviously do the review. I'm scrolling down the page right now, and there's all 10s, 9s, 7s, 6s, 4. There's a 4, but I don't want to read that because it's too long. But hang on a sec. He's saying something. I plunked down to watch this 2-hour snooze fest.
Yeah.
Let me blah, 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 blah. Their time together consists mostly of a series of overly bloated, pregnant pauses, inane dialogue, and missed chances to discuss much of anything meaningful. Correct. There you go.
Yes, there you go. That's exactly what happened in that movie. Nothing.
The kind of scenes that make even the most patient viewers want to yell, "Get on with it already!"
Do something.
Yeah. So there's one reviewer, Brent Marchant. Well done, Brent. But everybody else is going 10s and 9s.
You know what it feels like to me? You're in an art installation and you're thinking to yourself, this is garbage, but everybody standing around you is going, yeah, I really get what the artist is trying to do here. And I'm thinking to myself, what a crock of shite.
Yeah, well...
It's a rock.
Hey, don't knock modern art.
I usually don't, but sometimes I think,
it's
a rock.
One of the users on Metacritic said, "It's been quite a while since my theatre was left in completely silent shock by the end."
What?
Yeah, you heard me.
Shock as in, oh my god, this was shockingly shit.
No, he gave it 9 out of 10. One of the best films of the year by a first-time director. The simplicity of the story is what makes it so good.
Like a rock.
Somebody gave it 6 out of 10. Says one of the most overrated movies of the decade.
Yes, there we go. But 6 out of 10 seems a bit much.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't think it's going to win any Oscars. It might win the Best Actress Oscar because she's getting lots of nods for the Best Actress. The Korean guy is not getting any nods.
No,
she is.
Nah. Listen, I really hope not. I can't see it. It's not Parasite. That deserved what it got. That was A24 as well, wasn't it?
Has the vibes of it. I can't remember. I watched it 4 years ago.
I absolutely loved Parasite. I think it absolutely deserved a very interesting story. Lots of things happen, and a very interesting, take on social class issues in Korea. This doesn't have any of that interesting stuff. Because I remember we talked about the whole immigrant thing, which is a very interesting story or a very interesting facet that could have been pulled at this. That's not touched. It's mentioned briefly for about 5 seconds and then forgotten.
Yeah, I like it needs. All right, here's because I'm a well experienced movie director. Okay, here's what it needed. All right, it needed longer with them as children.
Yeah,
we don't see enough. We see them walking up a hill. We see them in class muttering a few things. We see them on a date where they don't talk a lot when their mothers are there. Blah blah blah. We need a bit more context. Maybe their first kiss. Whatever. Maybe some meaningful dialogue when they're sitting overlooking the city or whatever.
Maybe she remembers his name when she's stalking him on Facebook.
Jesus Christ! Well, that scene then. Okay, we've 10 more minutes of backstory. Okay, then we're at the computer and she goes. She's not doing it. She's talking to her mum about something else or whoever she's talking to. And then she's going, "Oh my God, it's been so long since I've tried to find whatever his name was." I'm going to check it. Wait, she doesn't say that. I'm saying that. And she goes and looks for it then. She looks for him then and goes, "Oh my God, he tried to look for me. Can't believe it. Blah, blah, blah."
God, she's such a horrible person.
What was his name again? Well, yeah. So, we are against the world with that review because everybody else loves it.
I will go to my grave despising this movie. I will never be convinced otherwise.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on to The Day.
Oh God!
from WWE Studios, from the geniuses who gave you WrestleMania 25.
At least WWE Studios, A24, it disappoints when it really misses the mark and F's up because it can do good stuff. WWE Studios, when it's cack, you're like, that's kind of what I expected.
Yeah, I went into this expecting nothing, and I got nothing from it either.
Yeah, yeah.
You gave the day an average of 0.5625. I actually
I
gave it. I actually gave it an average of 1.25 out of 5.
oh yeah,
Still bad. So what was so
it's
bad about this movie?
it's dreary, it's dull, it's stupid. The only actor who is kind of anyway decent with a really crap American accent gets
Hey,
killed off early.
don't knock his accent. I thought it was pretty decent.
Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't sound in my head. I know maybe because he's a fucking hobbit in my head forever, or the guy from Lost.
I'm sure he appreciates that. Trying to be a serious actor in WWE studios.
That's yeah. Oh, it's just cat. It's just there's nothing nice about it. The lighting, is awful. Actually, yes,
Yeah, it's
that's
terrible.
what really annoyed me. The lighting is terrible. The coloration is off grey annoyance.
Yeah.
The blood effects and the fire effects, it's just cat.
You could make them with bloody video toasted on Amiga 1200 back
You
in the
could,
fucking
yeah.
90s. Yeah. Well, yeah, like it was from 2011 as well, so it's not crazy old. It's still it's one of those movies that basically goes, all right, we're gonna put a filter of blue on everything, so it's post-apocalyptic. Okay, so all right, so
Yeah,
let's find a
but if
road somewhere.
you're gonna do that, just do it subtle. Just a slight filter. But this is a very harsh filter.
Yeah, yeah. It's got a Metascore of 41 and a Meta user score of 6.4. So I'm guessing wrestle fans love it. But no wrestlers are in it, though. I don't think. I thought like with WWE Studios, they would like go, okay, like the Undertaker, you can play the bad guy.
He read the script and went, "Nah, you're okay, buddy."
It's okay.
It's awful.
I'll stick with my bloody just coming out of a coffin every couple of wrestling matches. I'm fine.
It's much more interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting that Dominic Monaghan was roped into it. Obviously, he was probably given maybe he was given a cool mill for it. I don't know. Probably, maybe, who knows? And they were basically going, listen, you die off within 30 minutes, so you're not really going to be there for the long haul. So come on.
Yeah, listen, it felt like a really cheap B movie, like a zombie movie. It really felt like a zombie movie with no zombies. The characters aren't developed. The scenes and the sets and the action doesn't make any sense quite often. The bad guys make no sense when they're attacking them.
Yeah.
There's very, very little to like about this movie, other than it ends.
Yeah, I'm just looking at.
Oh, you did like the last scene, though. I do remember you chuckling.
Oh, it was amazing. It was great. I thought basically,
yeah.
So I tell you what, fair play to the director Douglas Arnikoski for doing that. Like, so the bad guy's daughter is left alone, and so she just follows the good woman,
the heroine or whatever you call her.
The heroine, yeah. And so it's like, okay, right, fine, they're going to be together, that's fine. But then there's a close up. Nope, I'll chop her head off instead. I need to clip that actually and put it on make a TikTok account and just put that on our TikTok.
And then the blood, the really, really crappily animated blood leaks out.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually try to go back and figure out what our favorite scenes were from all of our movies and then just put that on TikTok, and that's how the youth of today will interact with our podcast through 5-second TikTok.
Trick trucks,
yeah, that's what all the cool people do. Anyway, so I was interested there when we were talking about Dominic Monaghan. Okay, so he did the 3 Lord of the Rings, right? The last one was 2003, came out.
Yeah.
So then he did a weird movie called I Sell the Dead. Then he was in as X-Men's Origins Wolverine as somebody Bolt character.
Yeah, he controls electricity and electronics.
Okay,
he was
then
actually a reasonably well acted character in that one. Terrible movie.
So then, so that's 2 pretty whatever movies. Then he goes straight into The Day, another bad one. Then he
Shocking.
goes into a movie called Detention, which nothing. Then a movie called Soldiers of Fortune, nothing. He's in The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies as Lake Towner. That's weird. He must have been
Oh, he's
just
just like in the background.
yeah, probably. Then
Probably just
he's
got called up Peter Jackson and said, "There, gives a job, will you?"
yeah. It's he's got nothing here, man. He's got a lot of bad movies.
He was good in Lost. He was one of the more likable characters in Lost.
Yeah, really good actually. Yeah.
But then Lost kept going on when it should have stopped.
Yes, like a lot of Game of Thrones type movies or TV shows. Yeah, no, I like Lost, but I just couldn't watch Lost again, unfortunately, just because of the ending. Because I don't know, nothing means anything. The black smoke monster. What the hell was that all about?
You'll never know because it means nothing.
It means nothing.
They didn't know themselves when they were writing it.
No, absolutely not. So best ending ever, The Day. So if you want to watch the best ending ever, then watch The Day.
If you want to watch the movie, just watch the last 30 seconds. You won't miss anything.
No, all you need to know about it is in the last 30 seconds. From The Day, we moved on to Krull, which you had seen in your childhood, youth area.
Many times in my youth.
Yes. Your average, well, before we get into it, the Metascore for it was 45. The user score was 6.3. Your average score for it was 1.9375. Mine was 1.8125, so we were quite similar there.
Yeah, it's such a disappointment. Like, I remember it as a kid being fascinated by this movie. I must have been youngish because looking at it with adult eyes, it's kind of cack. Some parts of it are well done. They don't waste their money. The production seems pretty good. But there's no character development in it. It's the biggest problem, I guess.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that. It's just, it's a bit...
It's plastic, really.
It's plastic. It tries to be serious, but it's not really. There's no, as you said, there's the characters. There's many characters in it, but we just don't know any of them really. Even Colwyn or whatever. Yeah, Colwyn and Lysa. We don't know them. We don't know what they. And as you said as well, they're all in love at the start. There's no like battle to be and fall in love at the start. It's just
There's no struggle to earn the other's affection. It's just right there, and that it takes away from the romance, of a swashbuckling movie, which this is. There is no fair maiden's heart being won. It's just straight in there. Oh, by the way, we're getting married and I love you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But first, let me Errol Flynn swashbuckle my way across this crowded room on a rope.
For no particular reason. While there's guys downstairs with laser sticks who decide not to shoot me because I'm on a rope.
Yeah. Well, that was the one thing I said as well. It's like, it's lasers versus swords. These aliens should have wiped this planet out 100 years ago.
Yeah, but of course they turn up on horses.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you've got laser technology. Where's your fucking laser-guided missiles and chariots
and a mountain that flies through space.
It's disappearing.
But yeah. God damn it, people. Just invent a bicycle or something. Just something. Invent
Laser
the
wheels. Yeah. So I had no connection to it. I hadn't watched it when I was a kid either, so I just really thought it was a load of garbage, really. I can see if I'd watched it as a kid, I could have had some fond memories, the grave, damn you.
I
mean, fucking hell.
See, the glaive, I thought it was amazing. But again, as a kid, I don't remember it only really coming out in the last 5 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was only like it's because the guy handed it to him or knew all about it. He said, "Oh, you better just use it when the time is right." It's like, fuck that! I'm going to use it every.
Use it for absolutely. I want to open a tin of beans.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's an apple on the tree there. I'm just going to fuck it over there.
Yoink!
Great. That's great.
Movie's over. I just killed all the bad guys.
Yeah, done. And when they all came out of the swamp, all the
that seems like a really good time to use it.
The Slayers. Yeah. Chuck it at their heads and use it as a discus, and boom, you're done.
Yeah.
Like should have been.
The thing itself seemed to be intelligent. So just say, go kill the bad guy. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Move you over.
Do your thing. So yeah, like and as well as that, like the what do you call him? What was his name? The evil dude, the baddie.
The Beast.
That he was just called the Beast, was he?
I believe so. Yeah.
Like he was eerie and creepy at the end, but we didn't see him until the end, and like he was different sizes and stuff.
It was very Geiger-esque, and actually, I thought the interior of the Beast's fortress was actually interestingly designed.
Yeah,
but again, it felt a bit underutilized, I suppose.
It was underutilized.
And the design of the Slayers was actually, I thought, was very interesting, but
I thought
it limited their motion somewhat.
It was the worst thing about the entire movie was the slowness of hand-to-hand combat, and it wasn't slow motion. It was actually just how slow they were going.
It was the actors as fast as they possibly could move in those bloody outfits.
Yeah. And the Cyclops as well was pretty fun. He couldn't see out of his prosthetics.
I like that scene you pointed out where he drops the spear, or he's picking up the spear, and he's like, "Oh, where is it?"
I might use that as our favorite clip.
Yes,
and see if it is actually what I believe it was. All right, episode 37 was Dumb and Dumber, which was crazily enough way down in 13,368. It had a meta score of 41 and a meta user score of 6. I gave it an average of 3.9375, and you gave it an average of 3.5625, which I think is pretty accurate. Like,
reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. We like it, but it's it's not going to
blow your mind away. And I think there wasn't a whole nostalgia thing, so maybe it'll rate better for us than it would for you, somebody going in fresh.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a movie.
It still holds up well, though.
Yeah, unless you watch the unrated version.
yeah, I don't think I'll watch that.
No, don't bother. But yeah, no, it's a movie full of. I actually found it quite hard to do that episode review because it was just full of quotes, and you just want to quote it. Every scene has a great quote.
Fun for us going through the quotes, not so much fun for people listening to us laughing at quotes.
Probably not, but I've come across some Dumb and Dumber fans in the past, and I think people like going through the quotes and using them in everyday life. So you're telling me you have a chance? So I think we have to just mention Jeff Daniels put a star turn in when he wasn't expecting to, and
surprisingly excellent in it. Actually, he actually stands out even better than his co-star.
He's got some good. He's got some great scenes in it actually, and
he does. He delivers one-liners like a pro.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, Carey has a lot of physicality to him, and his face is just made of plasticine, so Play-Doh. His face is made out of Play-Doh, and so he adds his own uniqueness to the scene as well, to the movie as well. So I think the two of them came together to make a nice, perfect sort of combination of acting and comedic sort of performances. And I will always quote Dumb and Dumber if the time requires it, Oh,
absolutely.
Anything else about Dumb and Dumber? I feel we talked more about the day than Dumb and Dumber.
So sometimes it's easier to talk about movies you absolutely detest.
True. Yeah.
I was going to mention the outfits that the guys get to choose in this movie are just outstanding, especially when they get a bit of money.
Yeah, because they're dumb and they've never lived before in the real world.
But part of me, when they go into the big rich people do,
yeah,
part of me always wants to get a suit like that and just feck it. I'm going to get a big ass ruffly purple suit or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's everybody's dream. I'm sure there must be Dumb and Dumber parties out there, like themed parties.
Yeah, see, that sounds great until you get there and then everybody's a jerk. Which is probably about right.
Yeah, exactly. They're just acting like the characters. So yeah, that's Dumb and Dumber. That was yeah, we you know, it's great. Watch it if you haven't watched it before. Farrelly Brothers. I think probably the next one I like after them would be There's Something About Mary, and then Kingpin. And I yeah,
Kingpin's my favorite of theirs, I'd say. That's a great movie.
well, it's Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray, and
Like, yeah, it's just
two
perfection right
like
there.
yeah, two sort of two actors that can put in a turn and make things a lot more funnier than they probably are written in the script as well. Like
Exactly.
what the actors did in this one too.
Yeah, yeah.
Moving on to episode 38, we did Die Hard for our first Christmas special, which was well received by us. We really enjoyed it. Both of us actually average scored it 4.375, which
All right.
didn't which didn't make it my top. It didn't beat The Big Lebowski, and it didn't beat your top one either. Your top movie is Summer of Soul, by the way.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, it's very hard to compare.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah,
You got a
yeah,
documentary, and
yeah.
then you've got
Which was great.
fictional movies.
Yeah,
The same numbers don't mean the same in my head anyway.
true,
Like it was,
true.
and listen, Summer Soul's a great documentary. It's very interesting, but given the choice between watching Die Hard and Summer Soul, I'll watch Die Hard.
Yeah. But I think 4.375 is quite appropriate for Die Hard. I think it's up there. It's excellent. It's very good. There's not a lot wrong with it, really, to be honest with you. I think the least score we gave it was for the soundtrack, and even that's great, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, like Run DMC kicking off,
Yeah, and a lot of just traditional Christmas Christmas songs as well. So it's
Beethoven's Ode to Joy, Ninth
yeah,
Symphony, whatever, sixth.
it
There's
was,
a number.
it was Ninth Symphony, I think. I wrote it down somewhere in my notes, but
But that's such
yeah, Symphony number 9.
so very well used throughout the movie, and then using different arrangements to rank up the tension. It's so good.
I started reading the book it's based on a few nights ago.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's the same. There's things that are in it that are the same, but it's a dad that's going to see his daughter in a skyscraper.
Sounds very
And
Jean Claude Van Damme.
yeah, or Commando or something.
Yeah.
But her name is Gennaro. She got divorced, and she has a colleague called Ellis, and so there's a lot of. But he's not John McClane. He's Lambert or Laubert or something. I can't remember. But it's interesting just to read it. I haven't really got that far into it. He took his shoes and socks off in the bathroom, but nobody told him in the plane. It flashed back to he's talking to somebody years ago or something. It's just interesting. It's interesting to see how they adapted the book to be a movie and how they twisted things around to make it work into a movie setting. So yeah, it's good. It's good to read up the book. It's better than the Sisters by whatever the Three Sisters by, was it Dostoevsky or something? I think that's it. I don't know. One of the Russian dudes.
No, some guy with an R, if I remember correctly. R.
Really?
Yeah. Don't think it was Dostoevsky. He's like,
It was a bloody Chekhov.
that's not an R at all. It's the guy from Star Trek.
Yeah, Chekhov. Check on.
Chekhov.
Yeah. So the best scene of the sisters would be the guys falling out the window, right? So just to be sure.
Oh no, I want Rip Torn looking sideways.
Oh yeah, well that's part of that scene.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so Die Hard Christmas movie. Nobody can tell us otherwise.
Unless they want a black eye.
From John McClane.
Or from chap in the last movie. What was his name? Pitari. Yeah.
Pitari.
Young McClane.
John McClane's ready and willing successor. Die Hard 7 Finnish adventure.
Die Hard with a reindeer.
Disney's. Yeah. Deer Hard.
It has to be made.
Yeah, Deer Hard. Yeah, that should be it.
Call up our Finnish friends there and see if they'll jump on it. I think they will. We'll make
But
it
yeah,
R, and then we won't really kill anybody.
yeah, exactly. Pathetic. So yeah, Die Hard was great. Watch it if you haven't watched it ever. So yeah, we're just talking about rare exports there. A Christmas Tale was episode 39. That was last week's thing, and yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't really appreciate it that much. We both scored probably average about 2.25 or something like that. I haven't done the calculations just yet in my spreadsheet of justice.
I think that's about right. It's not complete and utter garbage. There are elements that don't suck about it, but what really annoys me, and it may be a function of its low budget, but it feels like wasted potential.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's, as I said during the episode, it's it's all blah 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 blah. It's very generic up until the 56th minute where they actually hand off who is supposed to be Santa. Nothing's really happened, and then oh, that's not Santa. It's one of the elves, and they're all coming in there to kill us. Goes into the warehouse, and Big Santa's there in a big block
Big
of
horny
ice.
Santa.
Yeah, and so then like Pietari, the 11-year-old protagonist, is like going, all right, shut the fuck up, adults. I'm taking care of this. I'm going to hop onto this net underneath this helicopter. We're going to take the bodies of the kids away in the sacks, and I'll direct all of this. Dad, you put explosives into Santa and blow him up, and I'll be fine. So there is no reason for an R. Like, it's okay, make it a PG movie and make it a thing for kids to watch where they see this kid taking control and doing crazy stuff, or keep it R, but make sure you have lots of blood and guts in it throughout. Kill lots of elves during the movie. Like if you're gonna
Yeah.
make the 11-year-old a protagonist, then he should have lots more. The dad shouldn't have set that trap to kill the elf. Can you actually kill the elves? Because he was spiked, wasn't
Yeah, they
he?
were spiked, and I think they were shot. So I don't think they die all that easy.
No. Yeah, I didn't really appreciate the entire movie, the way they organized it, and yeah, I wasn't happy with the R rating on it. Apart
What I will
from
say, 1.8 million, yeah, okay, you did sort of okay. That's like nothing. But there's been low budget movies that have done a lot better than that in the past.
yeah, like fair play to them. It's 1.8 million. It made a nice 4 million profit, and you gotta be happy with that. That's fine. Well done.
Yeah, and he's on to his next movie, Sisu, which I believe has the two main actors from this movie in it as well, and same director,
Yeah.
same writer. So maybe it's a stepping stone to greater things.
Well, I think it's got very good reviews. It came out last year, and I think it's R rated too. So I wonder, actually, do they actually kill people in it, or is it just a bunch of old men wandering around with their
I
genitalia
think,
hanging out?
hopefully, no. I think I'd seen a trailer for it there last week. No, last week, last year. It looked kind of interesting, kind of Finnish John Wick style thing.
Yeah, or a finish like Taken or whatever. Something happened. I think something. I don't know. I thought it was like some sort of Liam Neeson Taken sort of stuff. Is that not it? No, I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
I fully intend to actually watch it at some point.
Yeah, I think I should watch it actually. And if it's
You
not
can't watch it because
R-rated,
you'll never get Sisu.
and on that bombshell, that's
Yeah.
that's our recap of 32 to 39. So our next recap will be in episode 50, half a century of 15K plus random movie reviews.
Holy Batmobile, Batman.
Nobody thought we could do it. Well, we haven't done it yet, but
Nobody thunk we could have done it now.
Well, I'm still finding it enjoyable to approach movies in a random way and to analyze them.
It's great. It's great to be forced into watching absolute weird random stuff. Like,
Yeah.
would you ever have thought to watch Rare Exports before?
No.
I would certainly not have. Or Three Sisters, dear God, or The Day.
Yeah, just looking at it's serendipitous at the start. We got this documentary, and then we went straight into this random Irish movie. It was our episode number 2. It was just like, I never
Oh
would have
yeah, yeah,
watched
yeah,
it, and
yeah.
I, never will again. But
But it was interesting, at least.
yeah,
It's very different, and that's what I like about this. It's such a eclectic set of stuff that we have to watch. Some amazing, some average, and
yeah,
some absolute pants. And to be honest, it's the average stuff that kind of fades into nothingness, whereas the really crap ones and the really good ones stick with you.
true. And that's it's interesting, the different sides of the pendulum,
Mm.
because you'll always remember terrible stuff, and you'll always remember really good stuff. We came across Stick,
Oh,
which
it's got a special
sticks
place in my heart.
sticks in
Sticks in
our
your heart.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still looking at. There's an Elmore Leonard signed script on this sort of auctioneer's website, and it hasn't been sold for months, and it's for
What's the
300
bid?
US dollars.
300.
There is no bid. It's just you buy it, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, should I get that just to
Is it the script
memorialize?
for Stick, or is it?
Yeah, it's a script for Stick,
Wow.
and it might be the actual one that they hadn't, like the original one, that they changed it for Stick, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Burt Rounds was not happy, and Elmer Leonard was not happy with the end product of Stick. And actually, I was looking up the documentary. I don't know if you sent it to me, or I sent it to you, or if
Or
I
you
just
sent to
saw
me.
it. It was like, um, Burt Reynolds had lost so much weight. So like near the end of the movie, I didn't notice this when I was watching it, but like he looks skeletal compared to the first 3 quarters of the movie, because he had, I don't know, he had
They weren't
some
feeding him during the
accident.
movie.
He looked like a stick.
Hey.
Yeah. All right. Let's roll the dice for episode 41, and let's get our random episodes rolling again. See if our app actually goes down lower now. Still in the 5 digits, 10,594.
Could be okay.
Okay, movie 10,594 is a movie called Metroland from 1999. It runs for 1 hour 45 minutes. It's got a Metascore of 53 and a user score of 8.2.
Interesting.
Interesting. So the nutshell is based on a novel by Julian Barnes. Chris, played by Christian Bale, interesting enough,
Oh,
starts recalling his bohemian Parisian life in the late 1960s after his old friend Tony comes for a surprise visit. It makes him question everything about his life, even if he should have married his wife Marion, played by Emily Watson, and settled down in the suburbs of London. So it must be one of Christian Bale's first movies, I would guess, maybe.
well, his first movie, he was wearing prison scrubs, and he was like 12.
What was that
Empire
again?
of the Sun.
Empire of the Sun. Yeah. Yeah, so that was his first movie in 1987. So yeah, he'd done a lot of, actually, he's done quite a few up until this one, Metroland. He'd
Never
done
heard of it before.
Velvet. No, never. This was 3 years before American Psycho. So
Ah, okay.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see one of his early movies, actually. So yeah, look forward to that one. So join us in episode 41 for Metroland. Please share, like, subscribe, whatever, our podcast on all the platforms that you listen to. That would be nice of you to do that. And we'll see you in episode 41 for a Christian Bale movie. Bye bye.
Cheerio.